What's up everyone, welcome back to another video, and this will be the second episode of Eclipse Reviews. This is supposed to be the third episode of Eclipse Reviews, but yesterday I spent around 8 hours recording and making the video, and then the person who submitted the track actually asked that he's not okay with posting the video online, as he already released few tracks and he is afraid that that might be a little bit unprofessional and that he might look like a rookie. Anyway, I honestly believe that through the channel and that because of my video that it can be only your promotion. It really doesn't matter, but I did spend the whole day about this video, and it is pretty selfish thing to do, that after spending so much time, and I thought that I was pretty clear, so therefore I will repeat it once again. So if you wish me to review your tracks, submit on my email address info@eclipsemusic.com, but the condition is that you are agreeing with me recording the full review of your track, playing the whole track, and then going into the depth and the analysis of your track, and you are agreeing and giving me permission to submit or upload that video on my YouTube channel. Of course, I will not put the monetization on these videos because it's not my work, it's not my track, and it wouldn't be fair, even though I'm recording the video. So, if you wish your tracks to be reviewed by me, then please agree and write that in the email as well, that you are agreeing with me recording the video and posting that on my YouTube channel. Alright, so instead of the episode 3, it's episode 2. So this time it's going to be Hessid. I think I'm not sure do I pronounce it good enough, but anyway, so this video, these episodes will be that I will play the track. I will keep the whole track play the whole track from the beginning till the end, and I will grab the piece of paper, which is there, and then I will write down the keynotes, what I think. So I did listen this track previously, because there was one try of making like 3 tracks in one video, but this is not possible because I'm pretty detailed when it comes for reviewing, and in order to explain why do I think something could be better, sometimes I need to go around and explain the whole process and what is the main or key idea, and that way to be more precise. So just to come back for a second, for why do I ask this to submit for my YouTube channel, because if you ask your tracks and if you ask for a help or to review, then it will be really time consuming for myself to just give you or to write you an email back, and there are plenty of tracks. But if I record that and put it on my YouTube channel, then other people can learn a lot from my review of someone else's track, because there's going to be many good advices when it comes for structuring and every process of making music. So this is the reason why I'm asking, because if I'm going to devote my time and in the same time help many people, then I'm fine and okay with doing it, but only helping one by one, it's going to be just a lot time consuming. So let me play the track first.
From the moment I understood the weakness of my flesh, it disgusted me. I craved the strength and certainty of steel. I aspired to the purity of the blessed machine. Your kind cling to your flesh, as if it was not decayed and flaming. I understood the weakness in my flesh. It disgusted me. I craved for strength and certainty of steel. I aspired to the purity of the blessed machine. Your kind cling to your flesh, as if it will not decay and fade.
Alright, so pretty decent track, really good sound design. It's kind of the type of the sound design that is popular today, some kind of full on, I would say. Yeah, still there are certain changes in a skeleton that I will change. First is the kick in the bass, like for this type of the tracks, or most more to the full on. This kick and bass, they do sound good, they are precise, but when it comes for their purpose, I would open a bit more the bass line. It might be the reason that Hessid has exported one note of the bass line and then did the fade out, so every note is like tup, 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 tup. I would open it a bit more and I would keep it in a MIDI. There's nothing wrong if the notes are overlapping. So all of that notes are fading down, we can do that they lose a power as they move a bit forward by just decreasing the amp envelope on them, like set to 100 milliseconds and make a curve like this, but keep the cutoff a bit more open, so there's more boominess on the low end, like so that there's this type of unity, like the bass line full on as the music sounds way better if there is like beneath that. If we listen only on the low end, not on the transient, but on the bass end, it's like so there's something like a drone, like so creating this, and then just with the ducking effect, we are just decreasing and opening a space or keeping the space for the kick. So this is the first thing. I think the track would be more floaty in a, if I can describe it this way, and it will be more open, it will be more drivey. I think the groove would be way better. Also, I would be careful in a full-on music about the transient. Like sometimes these pluck ones can sound good, but in certain tracks, like just decreasing these mids and highs, this pluck, so they don't be that can actually make the track to sound better. I'm not saying this is a must thing to do, but this is my recommendation, and I will definitely try doing this. Okay, so the track first starts with the hit straight away, and then there's the voice. I would most likely delete this first 2 or 3 seconds and start with the voice straight away, and I would maybe even keep it clear. So if there's a track is starting and there's a certain happening, I would give it a certain space, like without this psh. There is no purpose, like the first and the, this is the advice that I will give in every video. So this is the rule, one of the most important advices that I believe I can give to you. Like when you place a sound on a certain position, try to analyze, does it serve the purpose? Like does it do its job? Would it be a huge change if you don't put it on there? Like if there is a small difference, if you don't put it and put it, then don't put it, because you will see later on, like the less you use, the better it will be. But all these things that you are using and putting in your tracks, they need to be effective. So less is possible and more of these effective elements. So do not just fill the track, because if there's a bad part of a track and you don't feel it, and then the easiest solution is to drop more sounds in that moment just to fill it in. But this is not the solution. Like the solution is like, try to see why doesn't it sound so good. For example, like if you do the groove, if you do the drums and the bass line good enough, they must sound good enough. You should enjoy listening them only. So only kick and bass, like and the drums, hi-hats and everything. If you do this, you have the half of the track done, because you will always have this option in a track when you don't know what to do or you're not sure, just bring back to the dry groove with the noise down, like, and it should sound good enough. So work more on the grooves itself, on the drums, like they should sound better. Try 2, 3, 4, 5 different bass lines. Try to use different VSTs. Try Serum, try Vital, try different processing. Try open the cutoff, closing the cutoff. So this is what I do for 7 to 14 days, like week or 2 weeks. I just listen to the groove itself, and if I'm not happy enough, I'm not going to continue with the track, because it's going to be much harder later on when I have a bunch of the elements in a track to realize that actually groove is not good enough. So when I come in the studio, when I press play and I have only like kick, bass, snare, hi-hats, and a little bit of these noises and sweeps, because they will help me to understand if the groove is good enough. So if they sound good enough, then I can start with the track, because I already have a half of the track done. Of course, once I drop more elements, I will maybe adjust it, but this is going to be fine shaping. But the construction, like how much I open a cutoff, how much pluck it does have. So try to listen to your favorite artists and try to extract and try to see what is exactly on their groove that you like. Like, I don't know, you can, for this, I would listen to, I don't know, Electric Universe, Faders, or any artist for Sacred Technology, or even Nano. So try to make as close as possible, even though this track has a really good quality. And I mean, it can be better, but the better things that this track can get is actually what I just speak about right now. So starting with the hit and the voice, I would consider that this is not a must, but for me, I would do it this way. So this second part in this intro, like this big drums, I think the low cut is pretty deep. Like keep that low low. The main purpose of these drums is to have the low end. Without them, it's just like there's just a punch, but there is no power. Especially because there's no kick and bass in this part, and there's no conflict with them. If you decide to use them, then keep their low ends. You can just reduce them by shelf only enough as they don't bother you, so that they are not the big as they should be. But low cut, I would set on 12 dB and position it on 100 hertz, so it will have easy curve, and it will slowly bring only the lowest ones. So this is what I would do, or this is what I usually do with these big drums. Now, if the sample is weak, and if sample does not have these lows, then I would maybe consider fixing that, or maybe replacing those drums, because if you use their main purpose is to be strong and the punch. If we cut the lows, then they lost their main purpose. Okay, kick and bass. Yeah, that's good enough. Only this now what I wanted, the 105. Yeah, exactly. Like this sweep, like I think it's not necessary. So another thing that I will say in every video, and this is a most common mistake that I hear, is that most of you are not aware of the power of the kick and bass. And I know why it is, why that's the case, because I had the same problem. So once we do the kick and the bass, we already heard them. So we need some time until we drop more elements. And as we extend the track, we are listening to this kick and bass all the time. We get used to them, and we are in environment where we are sitting in the studio, we are in a chair, watching on the screen, and most likely we are not going to work on a really loud levels. So somehow the kick and bass are just going to be there because we must have them, and therefore we won't be aware of their importance or their amount, like how important they are. And then we're gonna try to do everything with the sounds on top of it. But trust me, kick and bass, dry, this is the moment where people are gonna scream on the dance floors. This is why everybody's listening to Psytrance music, is because the kick and the bass. When I say kick and the bass, I'm not saying that you should do it as best as you can, of course, and move forward. But I'm just talking about, like, once you start kick and bass, give them a little bit of space. Do not cover it with many sounds straight away, because give them a space. This is what people are gonna love it. And you would do the same if you now take this track and play it on a party and you listen it from down there. When you feel that track amplified on that level, you will definitely understand that, like, just like it's good enough. And you can keep them dry for up to 1 minute, like we don't need that much. So they just give them a space, like at least 30 seconds, and just give enough sounds as the track needs. Just like in a moment when it's becoming like, okay, like I need something new, then it's fine, but not necessarily every 2 bars. As you did really good job, like after they start, it starts to sound really nice. Then there's the second one shot, and then there's a third one straight away. We'll just consider this third single shot sounds to remove it, because somehow it just cut it that attention that is going back on the kick and the bass. So how this works? We have a kick and bass, like they are going like that's the main groove or main drive of a track. Then you place another sound of it. The attention automatically goes to that sound because it's a new element. And then if you don't use any other one, then the attention goes back to the kick and bass, which is good. And then once you have enough of the dry kick and bass, another one is gonna go attention to that point, and then again, when this sound disappears, the attention will go back to the kick and bass. So do not, especially in this first part, do not put more sounds than it actually needs. This is my biggest advice, and honestly, if you understand this correctly and if you apply this, you will see that your tracks are gonna sound straight away a way more professional. Okay, so yeah, more rise, 138. After this, like this small break over here, already the track already went in and there's a minute of going kick and bass. Like somehow I expected more risers for this type of a track. I'm not saying that necessarily everyone needs to do it. I'm speaking in from case to case. I hope there's going to be a way different or different categories of the music, so I can explain for each genre or each subgenre of music to its purpose. So as it's already energetic, like a lot of these psychedelic sounds, I did expect like more noise, more rise on this break over here. As it would create a way more. And also this bass line that comes back just before the first kick, I honestly believe this is a mistake, as there is something really special if you stop at least 1/4 of the bar on just before that main part. This small drop to say will create this I don't know, like you're taking the breath in, like and then you go straight away. So this small part of silence, or just like so this small gap is gonna create a really good space and kind of contrast. So once it comes back with everything in, it's gonna have way bigger effect. So this like this bass line, I just think it just spoiled up this moment of hitting in and going in a bit on the next energy level of a track. Now, this part from 213 is kind of super similar as the previous one. I would just add one more layer, because this type of the music actually needs to keep bringing up. Don't get me wrong, but this type of music does not offer that much of storytelling. It's more constructed with kind of atmosphere, mostly from generic sounds, synthesizer. There's not much music, so we need to replace that with something. So every 16 bars we need to add something extra. So we need to bring it to the next step, then get it back, next step. So it needs to continue building, as there's not melodies, there's nothing that listener can attach to. So this is why it's really important that always bringing, like, if this part is like or some melody ta 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 da da. I was expecting this. I think it reminds me on a burning noise of this type of music, and I would consider bringing something to enhance the whole game. So this sweep does not have the space over here, because once you do the sweep, it's usually on the beginning of something when you want to create a more noise. So when you want to amplify that moment, like, okay, that's a main part of a track and now everything is starting like, then you put a noise under it just to like, woo, to increase this excitement or to boost that moment energetically even more. Or you do it once you are, if you use the noise, then maybe you can noise sweep, you can use it once you start going down, like kick and bass only, like, just to help you to bring everything down. Or if you go in a break, like also, like, because it's going downwards, it's a direction, it's downwards, that way you can create. But also from the categorization of the sound, it's noisy. It can increase the loudness of the whole part. So you can use it in these two cases, but just this in the middle, I don't know. Maybe you can use some one shot like clap, like if you want so, but I don't think it's necessary. I would consider removing it. Okay, that's one. More loud. Okay, yeah. I would put here this noise whip actually, because I just wrote here more lead volume. Yeah, and this lead also, like it needs more volume, it needs to increase. I would maybe considering layering in 2 more or 3 more layers just to bring this. And once you come back, I wouldn't keep it on a delay. I just would, if you used the structure like this, I would keep it like that. Concentration goes on more of this in a dry way. And this is a really good technique. Like you can always start bringing this melody, bringing. And once it comes to the reach, you can bring back the game with the riffs like but without that melody. So this melody that goes on a delay, it's just spoiling up this kind of switch of a scene. And I would consider not having this one and try to amplify this lead with more layers and give it more power. Okay. And then this lead is coming back. I wouldn't use it this soon again. So I would use it again, of course, because it's always rising, and this is what I usually call like rising storytellers. So there's something melodic that's good enough, but you just create it to build up the tension, like, and then you switch to something else. So it's a good technique. I use it many times in track 1 Consciousness. I also did that. Many times I had this melody that I used instead of risers. So melody instead of risers, so something that's going to come up on a filter and create more melodic rising moments and bring the track to another energy level. But I wouldn't use it this soon because it just started over here, and then you go to dry. So keep that dry moment and give it a space a little bit, and then after this you might start bringing this. But I would also consider using the same technique but with another sound. It can be a 303, like, and again create a tension but with another element, and then switch like melody, then this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, and then it's gonna increase the whole game. That's great. Just this tum-tum. It's a way too stereo when I compare it with other elements in a track. So, and somehow maybe it sounds stronger. So it's kind of jump out from the whole mix because all the rest of the elements are kind of similarly placed in a stereo field. Just this tum-tum is just like jumping out. It's like somebody knocked on the door. Like it does not belong in the whole group of the other ones. So just try to glue it somehow inside of all of them together. Try to check that on your headphones and you will definitely understand what I speak about. Yeah, this now, you stopped with the open head and everything and filter on the kick and bass downwards. So the track is started to go down, while I still believe, because there's still a lot of things happening after it, I would do opposite. I would do a low cut with resonance, maybe, because once you start cutting the lows and bring it more to the highs, the track is rising. If you do like opposite, then the track is going down. So just follow up the same direction in which track is going in that end.
Clear the area.
In this moment, some boosters needs to start. You had this dry part done in this track finally really good. Like, okay, everything going on, bring it back to the groove itself. It's really good, well done. But you had 30 seconds. Now you need to start bringing it up. I don't know. I think I already have the video about it, but I just cannot remember it. If I remember which one was it, I'm just gonna put in the comments below. But this, I don't know, like 303 sounds or whatever, it's super easy to make them with Serum, just like 16 unisons, unison a little bit down, detune a little bit down, distortion on, resonance a little bit over half of it, and then start opening that cutoff, and you can just make like every 16th, and then you can play with the notes like and just open the cutoff, a little bit of delay, reverb on it, and again another external filter, because in Serum it's going like after the filter it's gonna go to the distortion, so even if you put the cutoff down, it's gonna distort and it will create the high frequencies. So put the, I don't know, I use usually simple one, you can use FabQ3 or whatever, and just add another one, and then just start opening it just to create this. So I call them tension builders. I mean, this is what Alex from Future Phonic actually gave a name. So I really agree on, it's really nice term for this type of the sound. Yes, please make open head stereo, always. Kick and bass are mostly mono or a little bit stereo, but even if you make the bassline stereo, only the high frequencies and everything is going to be in stereo. So we won't have in these high frequencies anything that's mono. I think it's, don't get me wrong, but there are many different types of the music, but in a Psytrance, I think it's pretty stupid having the open hat in mono, because it's just gonna glue inside of the center, because we have so many stereo information. So it's like watching the stereo field is like mono is a one room, and there's around two more rooms, like left and right. So there are like three positions. So if you place it only one position, it won't have a chance to stand out in comparing with all the other sounds like leads, FM, synthesis, and everything that you're dropping in this track. So making it stereo, and you will see it's gonna be heard in the center, left, and right. So it's gonna be there, because it's really important element of a track. And it's really important that it stands out a little bit, because once you start with open head, this is most likely the most energetic part of a track. Now this part I would consider not having. I mean, I already heard the track, so the groove itself, it does not suit, and as well the track is 9:22. I really don't believe, and I honestly believe that there's no need for making the tracks longer than 8:30. So this is the maximum. If you start playing on a parties or festivals, then you will see that you will be able to play many tracks. So there's no need that you take that much space with one track. It will be easier for you to finish, to release it. It's going to be more effective, and cut out all the parts that are not necessary. This is another biggest advice I can give you. Like, once you done your track, once you do your track, and once you start finalizing it, just if the track is good enough without any part of it, just delete it. So try to be as much as effective as possible, and do not extend it without any reason. So this groove, it can stay, but I would bring it definitely a little bit different in a track. If you create like a lot of risers, noises, blah, 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 and then bring like dum, 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 then it will have the effect. Like this is just switching to. So it just stop and it's not that effective. So if you put a lot of snare rolls, risers, like, and create this tension, like yeah, and then bring it back, it will have way more sense. But also, I wouldn't keep it for this long. I would keep it only for 30 minutes. Like 1 minute is just too much for this part in this type of a track. there's not much things happening after this 30 seconds. Like, okay, and here it's like the same thing going on. Like with the pad, I would keep this pad more for a break because it will serve way better in a break than in this part of a track. So I would consider keeping this groove, which you already did for another track. This is what I would do, and go straight from this part to here. And as well, now we're coming to this point, is that I wouldn't, if you go, when you go to break, if you see the whole track, like there's an intro, but there's not much dynamics. So there's a lot of things going on from the beginning till the end. Create this moment, like go down, keep the track, like bring and try to listen to it, try to imagine it that you're listening on the dance floor. Like give people that are listening to this track a little bit of space to rest. If you are making the break already, make an effective break. Like make it somehow like to go down and leave a little bit of space. Leave at least 30 seconds. So that way you are bringing the energy all the way down in a track. So you're opening much more space to rise it up again. So if the kick and bass start after the break that is pretty busy, it's not a big difference. It's not a big deal. But if you bring that energy level down and keep it down with this pad, like once you bring the energy down of a track, you need to replace it with something musically so that listeners have something to attach to. And then you are opening, and then you're creating the space to bring it back again, because everything is about this contrast and how are you manipulating the energy level of a whole track. Okay. Yeah, this sound over here, like, is it a crash or something? It has a really high transient. So put the limiter on it, or put a clipper or distortion. Just reduce it. It just jumped out. It's pretty big dynamic on it, and it's just standing out in comparing with other elements. This part must be way better done. So this is the moment when it's just like going like riser, stop, it's not a big deal. So maybe rise it, and then make a whole break, and maybe use that one of the samples from that speech, like na 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 na. It will have way more of effect once you bring it to that level, and then bring it down and keep it there for a certain I don't know, 2 bars, 1 bar, 2 bars, or 4 bars. It will create this space, and people will expect the thing to, so it's going to increase this expectation. So okay, it's going up. If you give it straight away, like, it's okay, yeah, but if you create a bit more tension, like come on, you know, like they will expect it, and it will create a way bigger effect in the whole track. That's it. Okay, 3. Again, like there are highs disappearing inside of this part, and it's a really high, energetically high moment of a track. I would do opposite. I would cut the lows and filter it on the opposite direction. And I think that highs like that also the drums are disappearing with the same high cut. No, in this part only kick and bass. So try to cut lows and go in opposite. And this must be done really well. Like this, I have a feeling it's the end of a track. Like honestly, if I didn't saw the waveform, I would definitely think it's the end of a track. Even though 7:30, it's a really right time to end the track. And especially because you had this, I would consider in losing this. I would maybe even use, like, after this break or this tension part, I would maybe go straight to this part over here. Like, yeah. So I would also remove this, I think it's 30 seconds from this part, and go straight to this part. but maybe with more attention and maybe with that lead that you use in this part. Yeah, so maybe I will just keep these elements, but I would move it to this part and use this break just before this hit in. And then it's the end, which is really good. Should be! I don't know what did I wrote here, like, yeah, track should be shorter, yeah. So that was it, yeah. In general, it's pretty good track, like interesting sound design. I would work more on arrangement and on the track flow. So, as I already said, like, try to be aware of the elements. Like, if you mute them and it's not a big deal of a track, then keep them muted. If they are making that differences, then keep them. And if they are not affecting as they could, replace them with something else on the same position, same riff, try a different preset. If they lack power, then try to layer them or use a more stronger one or put a distortion on it. So try to create your elements to be as effective as possible and try to use as less as possible to create the similar, to express your idea as you want it to be. And yeah, that would be all. I think how much I recorded already, 45 minutes, my god. Anyway, so as I already said, I will really go in depth and try to analyze as much as I can and give you as many information as possible. And also I hope that these videos are gonna help others as well, not only the people that are submitting them. Again, if you are submitting a track, please write down I am okay with, I am giving you permission to record a video for YouTube and upload it on your channel. I will not monetize it, so I'm not gonna gain any money from it, but just I want to be sure that you are okay with it. And once you send the version, please do not send it again like, okay, I have another version, oh, I fixed this. So be sure that you finished up your track. This is it. Like, once you send it, you should never do it again. And the same applies if you are sending it to record labels or whatsoever. Do not send one version, then another one, then third one. Oh, sorry, or it's not finished track. Like, if the track is not done, I'm not gonna review it, and nobody's gonna listen to it if you send to any record label. And it's pretty amateur move to do. Thank you very much for watching, and see you soon in another video. Bye.